Well, about 8 months ago, I made the decision to sell every Lorcana Enchanted card that I owned, and I want to revisit whether that was a good decision or not. A lot of people have been commenting on that video. Funny enough, I don't know if it's just popping up in your algorithm or if you're going through my old videos. Either way, I appreciate the watch and comments. But a lot of people have been commenting things like, this is aged like milk, or this was a bad decision, here we are. And I want to see, was this a terrible decision? Did I make a horrible mistake selling these cards? Or was I able to justify it by the things that I bought from it? Either way, I want to talk about the cards that I had, the overall decision, and how I feel about it 8 months later. So let's just go ahead and dive right into that. So here is a screenshot of every single card. I'm not showing myself just so that you can see every card, but every card that I owned. I owned a total of 30 cards. And to give you some background, about like a year ago, I went kind of heavy into getting Enchanteds. I wanted to make it a goal of mine to get every single Enchanted card because I thought that would be so cool to have in a binder. I ended up actually buying a binder, and I created like placeholders of like, this is where the Elsa would go, this is where the Mufasa would go, a bunch of stuff like that. Because again, like I said, I love Disney. I love collecting cards. I think the artwork on these cards are awesome, and I wanted to have them for myself. And so these are the 30 cards that I had, some on the higher end at the time, some on the way lower end, which is why I was able to get a lot of quantity. And you can tell from the cards, with the exception of a few, I was definitely going more for quantity over quality. As far as cards that I pulled myself, the Cusco one I did pull from Reina Jafar, and the second star to the right I pulled from a collection box. Shout out to Mike, who talked about the Lilo gift boxes being absolutely just stacked. I opened two and I got an Enchanted. So that was really cool. But outside of those two, I had to buy every single Enchanted because I opened up another case of Reina Jafar and didn't get an Enchanted. I opened up a couple booster boxes of Azure at Sea and Arceus Islands and didn't get an Enchanted. And I opened up a box of Shimmery Skies and didn't get one. I think you get the point. I didn't get one. So I ended up buying them. Belle was the first card that I was able to get. Really liked that card, and then it kind of just started to snowball from there with me getting a lot of the Enchanteds. So you wanted to showcase what I had. Do I regret any of this so far in the video? I regret the first chapter cards that I sold, the Aladdin, the Simba, and the Stitch, and the Mickey. I think the two Mickey Mouses are first chapter. Maybe just the first one next to the Mufasa. But I do regret selling those just because that's a piece of history, and those cards have definitely shot up quite a bit since me selling them. And I was able to get most of these cards at like 70 to 80% of TCG player market price, probably closer to 80%, just because people were not wanting to hold these, and I was able to get them for a good price. The Mufasa card, probably my favorite card, but in November of 2024, I want to say, if not, it was May of 2025. I got it from, it was definitely May of 2025 because it was one of the last cards I got. I got it from the Mayhem event, and it had like a dent in it as if someone like put their nail on the top of the card and pushed down on it, like a little indent like that. And I actually reached out to TCG player support and was like, hey, I got this near mint card, like I want to get my refund on it, blah blah blah. And they sent me like, hey, technically, and same with the seller, like technically it's one indentation, like one mark is still qualifies you for a near mint. So that honestly kind of like set me off with like wanting to get all these Enchanteds, because I was like, I don't know what I'm getting on TCG player. There was so much, or so many fake cards out there. Like, as someone who was newer to getting these single cards, like I didn't know how to tell whether a card was fake or not. And with not too many people in the space, there wasn't a lot of consensus. So I was afraid of buying Elsa cards because of that. Like, there were just so many fake Elsa cards. GameStop had just published a PSA 10 Elsa card that everyone was like, wow, look at GameStop. They are posting a fake card that got graded through PSA. So like not even PSA could tell the fakes from the real. And so a lot of things kind of detracted me from wanting to have this goal. Obviously the number one being money. So I decided to sell all these cards. In the video I mentioned, I think the market price was like $2,050. I sold for about 80%, so like a little over $1,650 for all these cards. And I wanted to see, with the market price of 2050, how much has it changed from now, June 17th, 2026, to when I sold this back in the end of September 2025. And I have the numbers right here. This is the costs. I don't have the original costs for everything. I just know the totals. But these are the costs for every single card right now on TCG Player. And of course, TCG Player is going to be a little bit under market. I know the numbers that I'm sharing here are not going to tell a true story, because something could be market price of $200 right now, but the lowest listed be $500, and TCG Player is not going to be able to hold that. But just looking at TCG Player market price, because that's what I compared to at the time, market to market, the total actually surprised me is $2,746.48. So in theory, only went up $700. And yes, I know that's not correct because of what I just said, that people are selling well above market price right now for a lot of these cards, especially the first chapter cards. But I was shocked to see that it had really only gone up $700 according to market price only in 8 months. I also want to take a step back. Like, yes, I know I could have graded all these cards and gotten a lot more money based off of that, but I have mentioned it in a lot of videos. I don't know what to look for with grading Lorcana. I don't like grading. I don't like slabs in general. Like, for me, I'm so old school that if I have a single, I want it in a binder. I don't want it anywhere else than in a binder. Like, I don't want it slab because I have nowhere to put my slabs. I have kids that go through everything. And so having something in a binder just easily zipped up, locked away upstairs, like, to me, that's the safest place to have a card. And I like it better, the look of it. Anyways, so yes, I know I could have graded these for a huge multiplier, but a lot of the time when I was buying these cards, yes, they were near mint, but they did have like a dot in the back, maybe a couple of dots. I was buying for pretty binder copies. I wanted the front to look great, and then I didn't care if there was a scratch on the back or a couple white dots on the back or if it was off-centered, because I just wanted the front to look nice. So in theory, like, I don't think a lot of these would have 10. Like I said, the Mufasa most definitely would not have 10. Probably gotten like a 6 or a 7. Probably a 7. I think 7 is near mint and up. Anyways, so like, don't come at me. I'm not being salty or trying to defend my sale or anything like that because of this. Like, don't come at me saying that I could have graded these cards and made like $10,000, because at the end of the day, I truly did not. And then additionally, like I mentioned, a lot of these cards were lower end cards, like location cards, that even if they graded a 10, like, there's not a huge demand for these kind of cards. And the location cards, like, I think I bought for like $10, $15. Those 5 right there are for $15 to $20. So like a total wash, at the end of the day. So what did I end up doing with this money? To recap what I said in the video, I bought a first chapter booster box for $250. That has doubled, and people are buying it for $500. And I still have that, and I will have that for a long time. And yes, that amount of money does not make up for the amount of money if I kept the cards today and sold them today. But I'm playing the long game here. And I think 5-10 years from now, that booster box is just going to incredibly accelerate way faster than these single cards are going to accelerate. But in the end of the day, like I've mentioned in the past, I would much rather on an investment side have sealed than cards. These cards for me were like a passion project. Like, I wasn't doing it to invest. I was buying these cards because I wanted to have a really pretty binder that I could look at the end of the day. And for me, that goal became way, way, way out of reach, especially like you get 18 Enchanteds for every set, and now you have 2 Iconics. Like, the minute the Iconics came out, like, that door was shut. So I sold these right around the time Fabled released, and I mentioned in the video too. I actually mentioned that Fabled would do really well in that video, so take that for what it's worth. But at the end of the day, do I miss these cards? I miss some of the cards. I don't miss the locations. I don't miss some of the lower end cards that I have zero attachment, like Royal Temptation or the Rafiki's cool, but like Shere Khan, Second Star to the Right was the first enchanted I pulled, so it's a bummer I don't have that. But like Namari, even like the the Olaf, like I remember thinking that card was so pretty and then holding it in my hand and I was like, this is a lot darker than what the image shows. Like I wasn't as happy with it. But to answer my original question I just asked 30 seconds ago before I rambled, no, I don't regret selling these. I'm really happy with where I am in my investing journey, in my Lorcana journey. The fact that I don't own any of these cards anymore, I don't regret. I'm happy with the purchases I was able to make. I had mentioned we ended up going to Michigan, so like I paid for flights just because it's expensive where I am to fly to visit my wife's family in Michigan. So I was able to basically get a free flight from that as well too. So was very happy with the sale that I made. And I still have the binder, funny enough, and it's filled with some Pokemon, and I actually showed in my last video a bunch of Lorcana promo cards. So I'm still getting some good use of that binder purchase that was housing these cards once upon a time. But I will keep that video forever on my YouTube channel. It'll be interesting to see 6 months from now will we still be in a huge boom in this market, and will those cards have like tripled or doubled? And going forward, I'm going to collect singles that I want to keep. And they're going to be primarily promo cards or wilds and known cards. Like I want to master that set one day, and that's going to be the set that I work for the next couple years to master and get Enchanteds for. I've got 3 out of 18, 0 out of 2 for the Iconics. So making my way there slowly but surely. But yeah, just wanted to post this video. I have no regrets. I'm not mad. I love seeing the comments talking about it. And I don't know if you're just trolling me or trying to rage bait me, but I've lived with that decision, totally happy with where I'm at right now in my investing and collecting journey, and just wanted to give you an update on where these cards are right now. So let me know your thoughts. So I will see you all in the next video. Subscribe. Bye.